Hey everybody, nice to see you guys again. I am here at the San Juan Capistrano Library, as you can see. Now this was a spot we all used to frequent all the time. For some of us, we used to read books, do some of the activities, or for people like Sarah, Joe, or any of the others, we used to go to the comic book section and start reading a couple of comics about some superheroes. Now, a lot of people, when they think of superheroes, they think of stuff like Iron Man, Batman, Spider-Man, all those kinds of superheroes. Or, the number one example would be Superman. Interesting things about superheroes are that a lot of people don't really know how they came to be in the comics themselves. Some examples are that of Batman, who just came from Detective Comics. Superman was the example of somebody wanting a character that was all-powerful and godly. Or Stan Lee's favorite superhero, Spider-Man, which he spent countless years trying to get through to Marvel Comics. Now, in the 80s, a lot of these superheroes weren't taken seriously until the late 80s, when they became more serious. A lot of this had to do with some of the things that would happen in history in real life. And that's when we started to see the transition of a lot of these comic book characters becoming a little darker and more realistic. While some of the other comic book superheroes just became more relatable. Example again, Spider-Man. Now, the first comic book character that was taken seriously in history was Batman. And that came with the 1989 Tim Burton release, which became one of the first superhero blockbusters. After the second movie, it got turned into a very campy and horrible Batman knockoff, but then later on became to be the Dark Knight trilogy. Around this time, The Dark Knight came out with major success and became the first billion-dollar superhero movie ever, and is now considered the pinnacle of superhero films to this day. But then there was another movie that came out around this time. A lot of people didn't know this character as much, but we now see him as the all-popular Iron Man. Now, believe it or not, one of the major scenes at the very end was filmed over here in Orange County, and I will be stopping by at some point to show you where. It's actually really close by over here. And now we tend to see at least 4 to 5 superheroes coming out on the big screen every single year. Now, personally, I like both. Even though I do have a preference for DC, it's always awesome to see both superhero comics on the big screen. I really don't see why we all debate it. Let's just enjoy the fact that we've got so many movie characters coming out on the big screen. And personally, when it comes to comic book superheroes, it is a tie between Batman and Spider-Man, so there you guys have it. Hope to see you guys very soon, and I'll be catching up with you guys over a couple little history lessons about some of our favorite superheroes.